Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Would you really like to know what's happening behind the scenes on your website? Today, I'd like to very briefly tell you a little bit about Google Analytics. This is behind the scenes on their demo account of Google Analytics, the GA4 data. Now, why would this interest you? Well, you could potentially have information about what's happening on your website. If you have and you're looking at it and you understand everything that's coming up, that's brilliant. Congratulations. For the rest of us, I would like to explain a little bit about what you can get just by using this particular item of software, and then I'm going to talk to you about some of the other areas of software that I use really regularly. Why? Because they may well help you with your website development as well. So, without further ado, let me have a look with you at this particular page. This shows you the real-time usage of Google Merchandise page, the demo account. It gives you an idea and a flavor about what's happening on their page, just like you could be doing with your site. So you can see here within our page we have the user's first account source, the audience, the titles, and the pages that are being looked at. Really useful information, particularly if you're promoting either a product or a service or planning on doing so right now. Why? Because then you can see what's going to happen with these users when they're going to go to the checkout or make a purchase, what they're actually looking at, what pages they're really interested in, maybe what pages they're not interested in. And this can help you gauge the success of what you're doing. So acquisition is always very important, as is the users acquisition on the page as well. You'll see it takes a few seconds when you come into this to actually gauge what you're actually looking at, to see whether it's a cost per click or whether it's organic interest from users on their first visit. You can also see who's referring them to your website. User acquisition can be really important, particularly if you're looking at this particular area. You may be using page search facilities and other different forms of engagement. Traffic acquisition can also be really important for your business, and we know that. We know how much your business means to you. So from an engagement viewpoint, you can see that you can get the overall view, which tells you a little bit about the numbers of users coming on the screen, etc. So we can look at the merchandise store, the online store, the shopping cart. So from the home page, you've got the 82 users, the Google on store and the shopping cart there. But you've also got further information and little bits of extra data there as well, which is really helpful. So as we go down the page, we can see the different event names that maybe have been set up for this particular account that we can see the activity on as well. Let's go into the pages and the different pages that are in use, the views, the number of users, the average time of engagement, how long are they staying on the page, the scrolls and the event counts, as well as the revenue being produced. Somehow I think the revenue might be very important for a lot of people. But possibly the most important thing for every one of us is to know about something called the user. The user who's coming onto the site. What are they? Who are they? Where are they coming from? They may be from, as we can see here, India to the UK, and maybe we'd like to know the number of users per minute, and maybe wanting to know what country that we're trying to market from, or market to rather. Lots of information that we can obtain. We can obtain, if it's relevant to us, the age and the interest. In this case, that information may not be available to us. So we might have a particular interest in language though, because we want to be able to communicate to the users in their own language ideally, and therefore you might look at translation as an example of one of the issues that you could be dealing with. So we've provided quite a lot of information there, and if you want to know more, then I'm more than happy to tell you more about what's available through analytics. But we also offer something that's quite interesting for many people. We offer maintenance services, the plugins, and we're happy to tell you about some of these plugins as well, because there's some great plugins that we offer. So, for example, WP Rocket, as it says, it helps you with that WordPress performance. SEO Press is really good for getting your SEO to stand out to the likes of Google, which is kind of useful really, because you want to tell people what you've got on offer. You want to make sure that every word and every picture has value to the end product. We then have Elementor. Now, Elementor is a great website builder, and we use that, and we can teach you how to use that as part of our service agreements. Finally, Jet Engine. Well, Jet Engine is great because it has provided us with the opportunity of developing our services to allow for bookings, to enable our clients to have their staff being able to book up their time and to actually get that time paid for through the website, through that support. We also can deal with things like sales, even including car sales and rentals on rooms and flats and caravans and all that sort of wonderful stuff. Great software that we make available to you. So my name is John Fairest, and that's all I'm going to share with you today. If you want to know more, get in contact. Thank you very much indeed for watching this particular video.